Many readers approach Shakespeare's fair youth sequence as simple, archaic praise. We imagine velvet, romance, and endless compliments about beauty. However, aging strips away the lover's psychological armor, making the speaker increasingly fragile as the poem progresses. Sonnet 22 presents a bold declaration of love that tears through its own facade to expose a deeply anxious confession of dependence. By tracing the poem's chronological structure, we can identify the specific psychological layers required for high-level analysis. To secure the highest marks, analyze the emotional desperation driving the speaker to use these specific poetic techniques. In the first quatrain, the speaker claims he will not age as long as the young man keeps his youth. The beloved mirrors the speaker's perceived age. If the young man remains beautiful, the speaker feels emotionally young, anchoring his entire identity to another. This setup creates dramatic irony, a gap between the speaker's claims and the audience's reality. The speaker attempts to halt the clock through willpower alone, yet both the audience and the speaker know that time never stops. The opening lines represent a fragile, almost reckless denial of reality. In the second quatrain, Shakespeare introduces his central image. The speaker and young man exchange hearts, each core literally residing inside the other's chest. Renaissance culture viewed the heart as the absolute seat of moral character, the repository of a person's entire identity. Placing that organ in someone else's chest is a massive risk. The speaker effectively hands over his entire independent existence to the young man. This metaphor confirms the speaker is surrendering his autonomy and accepting total psychological dependence. In the third quatrain, the speaker issues a sudden warning. He demands the young man protect the heart he has just been given. Faster, more urgent tone. This shift in tone shatters the initial mood. The confident illusion of eternal youth collapses into intense, creeping anxiety. The speaker realizes the consequence of his own metaphor. If the young man changes or leaves, the speaker has no self left to return to. Vulnerability peaks in this moment. The speaker's emotional survival relies entirely on the unpredictable actions of another person. Sonnets rely on strict architecture. 3 4-line blocks funnel into a sharp final couplet. Here, the speaker warns that upon death, he'll keep the young man's heart forever, having already surrendered his own. This is an emotional point of no return. The ending presents a state of total devotion that simultaneously functions as emotional self-destruction. By the final line of the poem, the act of profound love becomes completely indistinguishable from the total erasure of the self. High-level analysis requires tracking these specific devices: the metaphor of exchanged hearts, the imagery of aging, the shifting tone, and the overarching dramatic irony. These tools help us answer a difficult question: does deep love strengthen our identity, or does it erase it? The most effective analysis explains the desperate human psychology that ultimately compels the use of these specific literary techniques. Shakespeare's enduring genius lies in his recognition that the desire to escape mortality through another person is a timeless, beautiful, and deeply dangerous human flaw. Over 400 years later, that vulnerability remains unchanged.